What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Today I am on the floor. No. What a shit intro, I know. But I'm trying to get myself more on camera. There we go. But today I have downgraded to the floor. But today I'm doing an IRL video, and this IRL video is going to be rating, you guessed it, by the title, my CD collection. Now, why is this crazy? Because obviously I off videos, and when I'm not doing other things, I like to collect CDs of my favourite artists, groups, and like bands and like whatever. I have very different artists. I'm not really specified to a certain genre or a certain era, because to be honest, I know people are either more into the old music or to the new music, new gen and old gen. They don't really mix. Not really that many people vote both. You either go with the old or go with the new. But for me, I kind of like both. I kind of understand both worlds. So you're gonna see in this video some artists and groups from the probably like older era, but also some new gen that obviously are more known. These are CDs that I have collected for I think a year now, and obviously, like I said, this is just going to be based on my opinion. Each CD I'm going to be giving a score out of 40, rating them a 10 on obviously, out of 10 on the artist, 10 on the album, out of 10 for the album cover, and a 10 on the CD, what it looks like. Rating, but all those four adding up to a score of 40, and then at the end I'll put the scores up on what I think of every CD. And I'll try and go into a depth review. I do have a lot of CDs, so some may vary, and some albums I either haven't listened to properly, or I only know like a few songs, or like I won't be able to talk on that much from the album. But obviously all these CDs I know the artist or the group, so it's fine. Anyways, without further ado, we are on the road to 400. So if you guys haven't already, leave a like, subscribe, and let's get into today's video. Start off with, I think one of the best ones, and one of my favourite ones from this artist is, as you can see, Graduation by Kanye West. I bought this one today, so I thought, why not tell you my thoughts on this one. Now, in my opinion, Kanye West has probably one of the best rap discographies ever. Well, simply speaks for itself. And I think, in my opinion, controversial decision, this is his best album. I think there's many songs on here that are very iconic. If you want to know some examples of songs that were on this album, you have got, obviously, you got Good Morning, you got obviously Champion, you got a lot of good songs on here, and I really rate this album a lot. I rate this album highly. I think the cover art is pretty iconic. I think this album just screams iconic in general, and I rate this album a lot. There's obviously a lot of compliments I could say on it. If you want to see what the CD looks like, sorry, maybe it's the wrong way. Wait, was it the right way? Oh no, sorry, this is the right way. It's kind of difficult because on the camera it shows two different ways. But I think it's pretty fun. I think this album is probably a very fun album. The artist Kanye, this is obviously before he went very controversial. I think as an artist, I give him a solid. I don't really listen to that much Kanye now, and if I did, I listen to his old stuff. I'm more a fan of his old stuff than new stuff. Like, honestly, I prefer his old music. I'm not really into the whole carnival and stuff like that. But if I had to give him a rating, I'll give him probably like a 9. The album, I'll give probably a 10, because I think this is probably one of the best probably up there with one of the best albums we got today in this video. And I think album cover, I give it an 8. And then the CD, I think it's alright. I'll give it a 7. So 10 on the album, 9 on the artist, 8 on the album cover, and then 7 on the disc. So like I said, at the end, all of that will add up to 40. Anyways, that is the first one. But speaking on Kanye, on the topic of Mr. West, we have got another album from him, which is Watch the Throne, and this was a collaborative album with Jay-Z, also another legendary rapper. And I think this is pretty cool, like the album cover. Obviously, some of the songs on here are pretty cool as well. You got, I'm trying to find some of the song names, but I don't know where that is. Obviously, this album was very crazy because it was a very big collaboration between two artists. If I had to give this album out of a rating, I don't really listen. I only know one song from it, and I cannot say the name of that song I know from it, mainly because I don't want to get cancelled. But out of 10, I don't really listen to it the most. It's not like Graduation, where I know like nearly like 90% of the songs. It's different, to be honest. But if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give the album a 6. I would give the album cover design a 9 because I actually really like the gold. The CD wise is pretty disappointing. It's just blank. I don't know if I got scammed or it's actually like that, but I give that, if that is the actual CD, I'll give it like a 2 or 3. Give it pretty disappointing. So I'm gonna give it so a 2 on the CD, like a 9 on the actual album cover, and then like probably like a 6 on the album itself. Obviously Kanye, I think, is a 9. I said it for the Graduation, and I mean it. Anyway, that is the Kanye saga over with. So the next artist I'm going to be doing, I've got 3 albums, and the reason I've got 3 is because he is one of my favourite rappers of all time. Now, who am I on about? I am on about Eminem. I got 3 album CDs of him, which are Encore, Recovery, and then The Eminem Show. 3 albums. Now, obviously, out of the 3, I like 2 of them. Encore, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not gonna lie. Encore is not one of my favourites. But we're gonna do one by one, get the Eminem done with, because Eminem is, even though how iconic he is, I will tell you my thoughts on everyone. We're going to probably start off with Encore, since it's my least favourite. Encore, if you don't know, this album was made during the time he was on drugs. And even that, some people do really like this album. I only like a few songs on this album. I like Crazy in Love, I think that's cool. Obviously, Mockingbird's one of his biggest songs. I like that as well. What else? Like Toy Soldiers, Yellow Brick Roads, Evil Deeds. And then I think as well as on the, what is it called? On the, on the like expanded edition, they had like Love You More, which I thought was a very cool song as well. Like this album, I think during the era and during the time it was made, it wasn't obviously he wasn't really in the best state. And to be honest, during this time he was coming off a 3 album run, a crazy, like his prime era, where he had the Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, and then the Eminem Show, and we'll get on to the Eminem Show in a second. Now, with this album, obviously, it did kind of ruin that streak. Maybe some people disagree, but obviously, even Eminem might admit this is not one of his greatest works. Obviously, I don't like the songs that like when he was trying to be goofy, like Arse Like That, Just Lose It, Big Weenie. Like, I don't really like songs like that. I thought they were pretty. I don't really like the more goofy songs. And to be honest, I'm happy he doesn't really make that type of music anymore. But at the same time, the Death of Slim Shady, some songs kind of did resemble this, but they actually did it in a good manner. Next one we're going to do is Recovery. Now, actually, wait, before I do, I need to do my ratings of Encore. So I think this isn't the actual album itself. I'd probably give it a 5. I give the album a 5. I think I like the actual cover, like the CD cover of it. Inside, I actually like the actual CD cover writing for it. If you don't know, it says here, "To my family and all my friends, thank you for everything. I always love you. To my fans, I'm sorry, Marshall." And then also we got him with a gun, which is cool. Now, I think I give this a solid 6, 7 on the actual cover because I thought it was cool. Obviously, you got the back here with the cool, yeah. But I'll give that a 6, 7. Obviously, Eminem, I'll give them a 10. So, the artist as well, I'll give it a 10. So, that's his scores. Next up, we'll do is Recovery. Recovery, as you can see, one of my favourite Eminem albums. I put it in my top 3 with, I think, Encore. No, sorry, not Encore. With the Eminem Show and the Marshall Mathers LP. And the reason why this album is so close to my heart is that this helped me during a rough period of time. And this is an album that I think is one of his best. If you don't know, he's got songs like Spacebound, Love the Way You Lie, featuring Rihanna, Not Afraid. Arguably some of his biggest songs. But also some very underrated songs like Talking to Myself, Seduction, Spacebound, Almost Famous, not 25 to Life, so bad. Album wise, I'd give it probably an 8.5. Cover wise, it's not really that special. CD wise, as well, I'd give that probably a 7. So, yeah, it's not really. CD wise, I give it a 7. I as an album, I give it a 10 because it's how significant it was to me and how much it means to me. But so for Encore. Just a reminder, I give the cover a 6. The CD I give a 7. The album I give a 4, and the artist I give a 10. Recovery, I give the album a 9. I give the artist a 10. I give the CD a 7. And I give the cover a 6. That's being fair. Moving on to the Eminem Show. Now this is probably my favourite Eminem album, so I'm going to say everything about this is iconic and probably his best work. Obviously, cover I'd give a 10. The CD, it's nothing really that special. Obviously, I'll give it probably a 6 or something. The album itself, I'll probably give a 10. And the artist. So this is probably on the same level, I think, as Graduation. I think these two are on the same level. Obviously, I prefer Eminem more than Kanye West, so this might have a space above this. So I give this a 10. Artist, 10 album, a 7 actual no, I'll give this a 8 cover wise, and then CD I'll give 5, the cover of the CD. So that's 10, 10, 8, 5. So that is the end of the Eminem Show. Well, the Eminem part. Okay. Next part is going to be a few artists that I'm going to put in the old era, or I call it in the old era because these are just either groups or artists that are just, I find, or I put in the old. So, all, the old classic artists or groups I'm going to put in this. Some obviously still perform today, some obviously are past, and some are just, iconic in their own way. we're gonna start off with Coldplay. Now, the reason I put it is this is like the band slash classics slash olds section. Coldplay, A Rush to the Blood of the Head, I believe is what this album is called. Obviously, Coldplay, very iconic group. Also, still do music today. I like this album. It's got a few good songs that I like The Scientist, and sorry, I can't read. The Scientist, obviously, Amsterdam. I like The Scientist, The Clocks. I like The Scientist, The Clocks. You know, so I like Coldplay. Coldplay is one of my favorite bands. I'd probably give them bands wise as well as other songs. I know I like Yellow. It's obviously not in this album. It's on a different album. I like Sky Full of Stars once again. Viva La Vida. I like those songs, but obviously they weren't on this album. But as a group, I give them a 9.5. Obviously, cover wise, I don't really know what it is. I thought it was a bunny at first, but I realised I don't even know what it is. I don't know. So just because of how unsure I'm gonna give it a 4. Cover wise, actually, is that being harsh? Nah. CD wise, it's just black. So obviously just the name of the album. So I'll give that probably a 2. And then the album itself, I'll probably give it a 5. So yeah, that's my ratings of this album. So that's Coldplay finished. Next one is going to be probably one of the shortest ones. The Queen. I had a Queen CD here. Obviously, my brother took the cover, so I can't really do the cover. Queen, obviously, we have to give it a 10. Come on, Queen. Probably one of the most iconic bands ever. The cover was basically what it was on the disc. So I'll give it 5, whatever. I don't really know. It's not really an album, it's more just a song disc. But it's Queen, so I thought why not to include it. So I give it a 10. 10 band-wise, the group-wise, but if we're talking actual songs, I give them a... If we're talking about the actual songs on here, I'll probably give it a 6, 5. So, we'll put that away. Now, that's the end of Queen. Next one isn't really an album, it's more of a disc set by Michael Jackson. Obviously, this is his greatest hits from his history album. So basically, any songs you know from him are on here. You got Bad, Billie Jean, Walk With You, Black or White, Thriller, They Don't Care About Us, and so on and so forth. If you want to actually see the CDs, these are actually pretty cool. You see the golds, and these are up there with one of my old favourite CDs. Obviously, as well, it comes with a nice book as well, and then there's another CD which is in here. I can't really get it out, but it comes with 2 CDs. So you know what? As Michael Jackson, I'll give him a 9. I think this, obviously, it's not an actual album. It's all his best songs, so I'm probably gonna give it a 10. The actual look of the history, I'll give it probably an 8. And then the CDs, I'd probably give it a 6. So that is it for my Michael Jackson review. Sorry for that going a bit quick, because I have actually got a lot to review here. Next up, I'm going to give is Avicii, True. This is my truth. Now on this album, it's got a few songs that I know, like Wake Me Up, Hey Brother, Shame on Me, Lay Down, Dear Boy, yeah. Obviously, Avicii, one of my favourite DJs of all time. I'll probably give him a 8. CD wise, it gives me retro vibes, which I like. So I give that a 7. So artist I give a 8. CD I'll give a 7. The actual cover of it, I like it. I'll give it an 8. So 8, 7, 8, and then the actual album itself, I'll give it a 6. Obviously, R.I.P. Avicii. Elton John. He's got a special place in my heart because he is a local hero. He grew up and was born near my area, and he's probably one of my favourite singers ever. So I'll give him that. Obviously, this is an album called Sleeping with the Past, and this is the album cover. I like the album cover with it. Obviously, I'm not really aware of this album. I don't really know a lot of songs on here. I do have the CD because it is Elton John. You know, you have to appreciate and respect the GOAT. If you're looking at, so I'm gonna probably not give it a rating on the album because I haven't heard it. CD wise though, I'm gonna probably give it a 7. I give the album rating a 6. The CD I'll give like a 7, and then I think the artist himself I'll give like a 10 because he's got a special place. Like I said, all of this will be recorded, noted as a list of all the scores at the end of the video, so, you know, yeah. Next up, we'll do Imagine Dragons, Night Visions. Ooh. Now, Night Visions, Imagine Dragons. This has got Radioactive, Demons, On Top of the World, and many more songs. I love Imagine Dragons. They're another group of music group that I like. And I think this is a very good album. I think album cover, very cool. Album itself, I think it's pretty good. Obviously Avicii, Imagine Dragons, I like. The disc is letting them down because it's just black. So I don't really know how to feel about that. But in my opinion, I'd probably give the album cover a 9. The album itself, I'll give like an 8. I think because of how iconic it is, I'll probably give the group themselves an 8.5. And then I think the CD I'll give like a 2 or 3 because it's nothing really special. So yeah, that's the end of the classic slash. Actually, wait, no, we'll add one more. We'll add Ed Sheeran to this. I know he's not old, he's more obviously modern day, but I still see him as all classic. But I just see him as I don't know. I just thought I'd add Ed Sheeran to this. We got Divide, which is in my opinion his best album. Actually, no, number 6 Collaborations is probably his best album. Obviously but for him probably this is his best album from classics like Carl from the Hill, Shape of You, Perfect, Galway Girl, Happier, New Man, Supermarket Flowers, BBIB, Barcelona, Nancy Mulligan. Have I missed anything? I don't think so. But this album is very cool. Artist Ed Sheeran, I don't hate. I don't think he's bad. Obviously, this gives me like year 5 days, so probably when I was like 7 or 8 going to school, I used to hear this album played a lot. Obviously, I give the album cover, it's just a divide sign. I'm not really a fan of maths. No, I'm joking. I'll give this probably like a 6. It's cool. Obviously, divides because of divide. CD, it's just the same as the album. I'll give it like a 6. The artist himself, I'll give probably a 7. And the album itself, I'll probably give like an 8.5 because it's probably his best work, as you can see. So anyways, that was the end of the classic slash old gen section. Now on to the new generation section. So this is going to be full of artists that are new gen. And I am going to start off with 3 artists. Obviously, they're more new gen, but they're also not really alive anymore. We're going to do, obviously, I think 3 artists who had massive potential, and I think they would be very on top of the game if they didn't pass due to their obviously unnecessary circumstances. And we're going to be doing a Juice WRLD, an XX Tentacion, and a Pop Smoke rating of CDs. We're going to start off with Pop Smoke. Now, this is probably his best album. It is Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, Pop Smoke, obviously very iconic artist. If you don't know what songs are in this album, you have got, obviously, his most famous one with Mood Swings, featuring Lil TJ, but also he's got some other cool songs on here, like you got It On Me, What You Know About Love, The Roo, featuring 50 Cent and Waddy Rich, For the Night, featuring Lil Baby and Dad Baby. So yeah, very cool. Obviously, album, as an artist, I'd probably give him a 7.5. I don't really listen to Pop Smoke that much nowadays. I think album cover wise, I actually really like the colours. I really like the rose as well in it. I think that's supposed to be a rose. I'm sorry if I'm not right about that, but I give this probably an 8. So I give 7 to Pop Smoke and 8 to the actual cover. Disc wise, oh, it fell, but I'll hold it up. I actually really like this. It's pretty unique. I give this probably a what would I give it? I'm probably gonna say maybe a 6 to the actual disc, and then for the album itself, wait, have I done the album? No, I haven't. The album itself, I'll give it a solid 7. So that was my ranking for Pop Smoke. For Pop Smoke, Shoot for the Stars, Wait for the Moon. Next we'll do XXX Tentacion. One of what could have been up there if obviously he didn't pass. Obviously, this is the Question Marks album. I believe that, I don't know the actual name for it, I'm just presuming because it's got a massive question mark. That's me trying to think of a video idea. Nah. But obviously, if you don't know, he's got songs like, sorry, I'm trying to read. He's got Changes, Hope, he's got Love Yourself, Paid Equals Best Friend, Going Down, Numb, Moonlight, Sad, obviously, one of his most iconic albums. And I like the cover. As an artist, I give him an 8. Obviously, most people don't really like him and Juice. Like, people criticize him and Juice WRLD because he makes more like emotional songs. Mainly him. People say, oh, they're only good for like sad music or sad people songs. I totally disagree. I think he's a very good artist in his own way. So I don't really think we should be hating on to go like that. If we're gonna, so let's quickly see the CD. So this is the CD. It's a big question mark. So I don't know if he was just confused making this album. Is that why he's got a question mark? No, I'm joking. But I'd probably give him as an artist. I'd give him a 7. I don't really listen to him that much anymore. Only if I'm like not feeling the greatest. Album wise, I'd probably give it a 7 as well. CD, I'll probably give it a 5. And then for the album cover, I'm gonna give it a 6. I think that's fair. And then we're gonna do Juice WRLD. It has to be Juice. Legends never die. Juice WRLD. Obviously, he's got an album coming out next month, I believe, or this end of this month. I think end of this. I don't know. But Juice WRLD's Legends Never Die, in my opinion, is his best album. Obviously, people compare it to Goodbye, Good Riddance, and other albums like that. I forgot the other ones. Is it Death Race or Wait for Love? I don't remember. I'm sorry. But yeah, obviously, if you want to know the songs on here, he's got Conversations, which was big on TikTok at the time. Righteous, Smile featuring The Weeknd. Hate the Other Side featuring Polo G, Kid Laroi, and Marshmello. Life's a Mess. Come and Go. Wishing Well, which obviously is a big song. Man of the Year. Up, Up and Away. Stay High. And yeah, that album cover, I give it a solid 8 or 9. I really like this album cover. I think as a song, as an album, I give it a 8. I think, like I said, it's my favourite. But the actual CD, I think, is probably one of the coolest CDs we got yet. I think it's a 10. I think an artist as well, I'll give him a 10 as well. R.I.P. Juice. I think he has probably one of the most potential ever in music before he died, unfortunately. But that's my rating for Juice WRLD. I give him a 10 on artist, 10 on the CD. Album cover, I give an 8. And then the CD, and then the actual album itself, I'll give it a 7. So that's going to be my rating for Juice WRLD and this section of the video. Now, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're in the final 9 artists. Now, we're going to start off with Akon. Akon, one of his most iconic albums, which is called Trouble. Obviously, some songs like Lonely, I think, is probably his most famous song. That and Smack That with Eminem. Obviously, he's also got songs like Locked Up, which I hear a lot. Ghetto as well. I think album-wise, I'll give it a 7. Album cover, sorry. The album itself, I don't listen to a lot. I only listen to a few songs on here, so I'll probably give it like a 6. Even though how good I think Lonely is. So 6 on the album, 7 on the album cover. The artist itself, I'll probably give it like a 5 or 5.5, maybe 6. And then I think for album, for CD, Akon, I'll probably give it what do I give it? I'll probably give it a 6. So I'll just rewind it because it's easier to edit later. 5 on the CD, a 5 as an artist, a 6 on the album cover, and then a 5 on the album itself. So, in my opinion, it's just a mid. Alright, next we'll do the Lil Wayne Carter 5. I can't judge this based on an album, because I don't know really a lot of songs on this album. He's obviously got a lot of artists on here. Lil Wayne, obviously, one of the best rappers as well. He's up there in the GOAT debate of rap. Obviously, this is what the cover looks like. I like the cover. I'll give it probably like a 6, 6.5. The Carter 5. Album, I can't really talk about because I haven't really listened to it. So I'm not going to give a rating on that. The artist himself, I only really listen to, like, some songs of his and some features. So I'll probably give him, like, a 7 as an artist, 7 to maybe 8. And then CD-wise, I'll probably give it nothing really special. I'll probably give it a 5. That's me being critical, I know. So that's Lil Wayne done. Next we'll do, you know what, speaking of Lil Wayne, we'll go to Kendrick Lamar, the one that Lil Wayne gets constantly annoyed at. We'll do Kendrick, Damn. Obviously, if you don't know what is Damn, you got Element, Loyalty featuring Rihanna, Pride, Humble, DNA, obviously, and yeah, it's very cool. I like the album cover, very iconic. I'll probably give the album cover a 9. I think artist, since what he's done this year, I think he deserves a probably 9 as well. I think album itself, I'll give it like an 8. And then CD is just a white saying damn. I think I'd give it a 3 on the CD, but I think on the CD cover, but everything else 9 and 8. So 9 on the album, like cover, 9 on the artist, 8 on the actual album, and then 3 on the CD. That's my honest opinion for Kendrick. But speaking of Kendrick, we'll talk about his son. No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna publicly say diss Drake, but Drake, Take Care. Now, apparently, I heard that this album was produced mainly by The Weeknd. Apparently, I watched the videos on it, and apparently some of these songs The Weeknd produced. He actually did feature on one, which I believe Crew Love. So if that is the truth, then it kind of would degrade the album a bit, considering it's not mainly him. Obviously, he's done all the singing and all that, but I know all the rapping, but I don't really want to discredit him. Considering what he's been through with Kendrick, I don't want to I don't really want to discredit him. But if we're talking album-wise, like album cover, I think it's pretty cool. I give it an 8. Artist himself, even though he's been getting a lot of hate this year, I'm gonna probably give him a 6 for giving him the doubt. Album itself, I'll probably give it a 4 or 5. Actually, no, that's too low. I'll give it a 6. The album. CD-wise, it's black, saying "Take care." I like the handwriting, so I'll probably give it like a 5. Nah, no. I know I'm annoying a lot of music fans today, but good news, we're on to the final 5. We'll start with another person, speaking of Drake, J. Cole. Woo! I don't know how many more ties in I can make, but J. Cole. J. Cole, My Eyes, For Your Eyes Only, album. Obviously, the album cover is pretty cool. I really like the album cover. I'll probably give it a 7.5. I don't really listen to a lot of songs on this album. I don't think it's one of his best albums. Obviously, J. Cole is an outstanding rapper. I rate him a lot. Obviously, he did apologise to Kendrick, but to be honest, it was for his own goods, because, you know, what happened to Drake. So I'm still disrespecting Drake, and we're not even on Drake anymore. But, you know, as an album cover, I give it a 7. An artist himself, I'll give him a 9. The actual CD, it looks nice, Dreamville. I'll give it an 8. But the actual album itself, I haven't listened to, so I won't give it a rating, to be fair. Next we'll do is Post Malone. Now, I have lost the cover, annoyingly, for this, but what is Hollywood's Bleeding. Now, this album's got a special thing to my heart. One of my first albums I ever got into, introduced me into the music world. Post Malone, one of my favourite singers, and I really think this is his best album. There's a lot of songs on here that are classics. Obviously, you got Circles, you got Goodbyes, Take What You Want From Me. I could go on. This is like really like 10 out of 10. Like, I really love this album. It's like a 10 out of 10 for me. If it's obviously CD though, isn't really that special in my opinion. It just says Post Malone's Hollywood's Bleeding. Not really special. The cover for it, I'll put up on screen. I'll probably say 7, 6 on the cover. That's my opinion though. So I give it a 10 on the album itself, because I don't really know any songs, I'd skip on it. A 9 on Post Malone himself, because I think he's one of my favourite singers. He's got a whole a 2 on the actual CD, and then an 8 on the actual like album cover. I think that's fair. Alright, that is it. We're on to our final 3. We're going to start off with 50 Cent. The best of 50 Cent. This is just a compilation album, but I bought it today and I thought it was pretty cool. So obviously this got all his best songs, from the songs like In the Club to 21 Questions to Pimp to Candy Shop to Best Friend and so on and so forth. This is a pretty cool album. 50 Cent, pretty cool artist. I'd give him, out of 10, I'll give him an 8. I think he's very iconic. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I think album cover, obviously it's not an actual album. Like, I know this is not an actual album, it's the best of. But I'll probably give it like a 6, because it's not really an actual album. I think album cover, I'll give it a solid 7. And then music disc-wise, obviously, I thought when I first saw this that I got scammed, but actually is the actual CD for it. It doesn't look like it because it's broken, but it apparently is part of the effect. So I'll give the CD, because it got a little effect, I'll give it a 6. I'll be fair. So that's my rating for 50 Cent. I'll give him an 8 on the actual artist. I'll give it a 6 on the album because it's not an actual album. I give a 7 on the cover art, and then I'll give a 6 to the CD art. Next we'll do is the second last one, The Weeknd, The Darkest Hours. Now, The Weeknd is one of my favourite artists at the moment, one of the best singers, I think, at the moment of time. Obviously, I think he's the best in the R&B scene. The album, the After Hours is probably I think is his best album. Obviously, if you want to know songs from it, you got Alone Again, Hardest to Love, Save Your Tears. I'm trying to think of others. In Your Eyes, Too Late, and so on and so forth. I think this is, as an album, I give it a 9. I really like this album. Artist, I'll give him a 10 because he's probably one of the best in the moment. He's killing it. Disc-wise, for the CD, nothing really special, so I'll probably give it a 7. And then I think this is one of, and I'll give the cover art like a 6. No, I'll give it a 7. So that's my rating for The Weeknd. And then, for the final one, we have led this to the final. Travis Scott. Whoa. Travis Scott Astroworld. Here we go. Now, let's start off with the artist. I'll give him a solid 8. Obviously, I think this is his best album. If you want to know songs on here, you got Sicko Mode featuring Drake. You got IP Screws, Stop Trying to Be God, No Bystanders. Personification, Stargazing, Butterfly Effect, Yosemite, Can't Say, you know, very good songs. And this era, I think this is better than Utopia in my opinion. So, I think as our cover art, iconic, I'll give it an 8. As well as CD, I'll give it like a 9.5 as well. So, if you want to know, my final rating will be, for the artist, I'll give a 9. The album, I'll give a 10. The music disc, I'll give a 7. And the album itself, I'll give a 9. So, I will put at the end a score of every result for every artist album I'll put. And if this video does well, I will do an Eminem music album tier list. Anyways, I'm filming this at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I wanted to switch it up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and peace!